Ho, 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 happy holidays, and all of you out there. I hope you have a great week off, maybe, hopefully, with some free time, spending it with family. Thank you all for the support over the course of the past year. It has been awesome. We are 6,000 away from 50K and still going. So, you guys are amazing. Wanted to thank all of you for that. Again, thank you very much. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, wherever you guys are at around the world, and whatever you celebrate. Thank you all very much for the support and the following, and just the awesome community that we have here on the channel. So, it is a new week in Destiny. It is December 24th, the day before Christmas, and we do have some things to cover. Want to give you guys a few pointers when it comes to your Obelisk bounties and ways to kind of make things as efficient as possible. As we have the Dawning, we have Season of Dawn, the Obelisk, and of course we even have a new boss in the Sundial as well. So if you're looking to continue those triumphs, make sure and play that one a little bit as well. So, where to begin? So for your Vanguard strikes this week, we are going to have a Solar Singe. So again, plan accordingly. If you are grinding out bounties or anything that you may need to do for a certain strike playlist, make sure and match the Singe. For one, makes you more powerful for whatever you're running, and two, just makes things go a little quicker. And remember, when you're running strikes, you're not going for points. So if you're trying to finish strikes or work on certain bounties, you can sprint through some of these things, try and just get to certain checkpoints, but you can skip quite a few enemies. We do have a triple Brawler week this week. It's going to be Brawler, heavyweight, and then grenadier. So if you are looking for heavyweight, it's going to be on Wednesday and Saturday. Those are your 2 days this week. So Merry Christmas. Heavyweight will be your modifier when you log in tomorrow after daily reset. All right, the Nightfall, the Ordeal is going to be the Tree of Probabilities. Modifiers this week, we've got Martyr. Exploding units have more health. Of course, why wouldn't they? Got Champions, Overload, and Barriers, so bring weapons accordingly. You've got Famine, rough on the ammo department. Mob Champions, Equipment Locked, Match Game, and Thune's Stratagem. Solar damage is increased, which is going to hurt. Knockback damage and distance is also increased. Now, I wanted to give you guys a heads up. Sorry about the headset quality volume right now. It's just kind of one of those things. I'm using a borrowed headset. It is not the highest quality, but it is getting the job done while I'm out of town, so it'll have to work for now. But that is the Nightfall, the Ordeal, Tree of Probabilities. Good luck in there if you're going for all those nice, high, fancy rewards. Alright, so your first selection Nightfalls, we've got the Lake of Shadows, and this is actually one that you can run through insanely quickly. If you pick the right Singe, which if I had to guess might be Void or Solar, probably not Arc, but I'm not entirely sure off the top of my head. This is one you can run through, especially very, very quickly if you have a team. Nightfalls are not the easiest to run through, but this is one you can cover ground pretty quickly if you got a team speed running it. Strange Strain, of course, where you fight Nokris, we know that one. You've got the Braytech Osprey Rocket Launcher docking there. We've got the Militia's Birthright, by the way, the energy, that's actually the kinetic grenade launcher that drops up here. It's the only other one besides the Mountaintop. And then Festering Core, there is no Nightfall exclusive, but it is one of the new strikes that we get to experience this season. So a couple new ones that we've got in here. This one goes into the Pyramidion on Io. I don't actually know if I've fully played this strike yet, but at some point I will definitely have to. As we know, Gambit right now is not the most popular of things. It's still a useful function right now during the Dawning. Each match will give you 16 Essence of Dawning that you're going to be using to baking the crazy number of things that we have to bake in our oven this season. And remember, if you are playing the 2, Gambit Prime is going to be a little faster. You have more bounties that you can pick up and work on, therefore more experience you can gain by completing those bounties in these matches that you go through. The other nice thing about Gambit is you're going to face a wide variety of enemy types, so if you need any of those ingredients, you've got a lot of enemies that you're going to face as you're not stuck doing the same thing over and over. So definitely some benefit to having the Gambit time in here right now. If you don't love it, obviously it's not for you, but if it is one thing that you want to jump into, I would probably suggest Gambit Prime. Lots of things to do and more bounties to work on for that experience for your season pass. Alright, in the Crucible, we've got a fancy set of things here going on. We know the big one is going to be Iron Banner. So you've got powerful gear that comes from your rotator matches. That's not really the goal here. The goal will be the Pinnacle bounties that we'll discuss as we get later into the tower to see what we've got to offer there. But the Pinnacle bounties are going to be a good thing. And remember, if you're going into Iron Banner, pick up the Crucible bounties, pick up your Gunsmith bounties, maybe switch up how you're playing. Depending on what you need to do for those Iron Banner bounties, you may need to use different enemy weapons anyway. So all those things, and again, each match is going to probably be netting you about 11 of the Essence of Dawning, so hopefully these things go fairly quick. Up here we've also got Supremacy for your 6v6, we've got Showdown for your 4v4, and your standard core playlist of Rumble, Control, Elimination, Survival, and of course Freelance. You got your classic mix down here. Some people say this is fairly toxic because it's connection based, so people are going in there just rolling people. It's up to you how much you want to jump into that one. But As for all Crucible this week, we do have increased Valor gains, so whether it's Valor in Iron Banner, or in Control, or in Supremacy, your Valor gains are going to be doubled. So if you're working on anything related to Valor, maybe you've still got an old Redrix grind that you need to do, or you're just going for resets, whatever it may be, definitely going to be getting double gains this season, so take advantage of that for this week. Quick run through on the Flashpoint. It is on Titan this week. Make sure you guys are spending a little time on Titan. It's usually pretty easy if you need public events on a good rotation, grinding out some lost sectors, or any which reason. If you are going for the Flashpoint, do your heroic adventure once. It's quick, it's a good percentage, and it'll knock things out fairly fast. Also, don't forget your patrols. There's a couple easy ones if you bounce back and forth between these zones. Usually the combat ones and also the survey ones will have you drive back and forth between these locations a couple times. Pretty efficient run on your Flashpoint. Alright, Guardians, for your Dreaming City Ascendant Challenge, if you guys are still working on those, I've got plenty of videos on those. If you just look up kind of the phrase that I tell you guys, if you look up Spine of Carries, S-P-I-N-E, of Carries, K-E-R-E-S, and then Ebontis, you're probably likely to find a crap load of these that I've done previously. What you're going to be looking to do is actually in the Devilian Mists, go up here to the top. Sorry if you guys hear a dog right now. Mine apparently is traveling with me, but still letting it know that this is her house. But from your Devilian Mist landing location, you're going to want to come out here, all the way out to this little rock structure out here, and it's going to be tucked way out here in the Spine of Carries. And it is the Shattered Ruins, where you're actually going to have to jump up quite a bit to get very high to the top. There are 2 eggs in there, and there is 1 set of lore bones. Really not too hard to get to on the eggs. One is just before you get to the top, one is above the top platform, and the lore bones are in the statue's hand. So pretty quick run through there, but again, I've got plenty of videos out there. Look up Ebontis Ascendant Challenge. Shattered Ruins is the actual name of the Lost Sector, or of the Ascendant Challenge. So look those up. You guys will definitely find plenty of those. Alright, Guardians, if you are still leveling up any of your characters, you know your bounties are going to be optional, but the main things I want to cover is all the bounties from the Tower Obelisk, any tips on those, and of course the Iron Banner bounties, and then we'll finish up in the store. So first, let's look at the Obelisk. Alright, so for the Tower Obelisk, we do have access to see, once you have them linked, of course, you do need to do 1 bounty per Obelisk for the link to the Tower Obelisk. Once you have that, you will be able to access those. Now, you still have to travel back to the Obelisk themselves to level them up, but once you have them up to level 11 and buy everything you need from them, you're good to go. So EDZ, for example, I know many people, and myself included, have issues accessing that one. I leveled that thing up, even though it may not, even though it's the strike boost one. I've been running some strikes in there, but even though it's the strike boost one, I leveled that one up just so I could be done with it. And then as I am running strikes, I am getting a chance from where that polarized fractal line. But as we are still trying to max these things out, some of you guys are finished by playing a lot. Some of you guys are waiting for the bounties as opposed to grinding things out. I'm going to go through each one of these bounties, give you guys a couple tips as we go. As we look over each of these, we've got quite a few, couple repeats, couple new ones. But again, trying to plan these things so you work on multiple at the same time is still going to be your best way to knock these things out if you're still trying to grind out some major fractal line. So we've got bosses and strikes. We've got collect materials on EDZ or Mars. Patrols anywhere in the system. We've got finishers on Cabal and defeat Cabal anywhere, so you got 300 of those. Rapidly defeat with scout rifles. Again, that one's usually one you could combine with others. Adventures anywhere in the system. Vex anywhere in the system. And then enemies using void abilities. So, think of how you want to pair these things up and try and work on multiple at the same time. So say you need bosses and strikes. You need Cabal anywhere in the system, and then you also need rapidly defeated enemies with scout rifles. Well, you need strikes, so go run a Cabal strike. It's not going to get you as much, but unless you just get lucky on your Vanguard playlist, you're not always going to know which strike you're going to get. So go pick a random Cabal strike on the map. Make sure you do about 10 finishers as you go through. Your other allies killing enemies are going to help you kill those Cabal faster. And then as you're going through, use the scout to kill enemies. Okay, say you don't finish this one, but you finish the other 2. You finish the Cabal in 2 strike runs, and you've killed 5 bosses between the yellow bars and mini bosses, things like that. So you still have some more scout rifle kills to do. Well, you've got adventures to go to, and you've got Vex to kill in the system. Go find a couple adventures that are related to Vex. Most likely going to be on Nessus or Io, either one of those. Keep your scout rifle with you and keep it going. Now, while all of this is going on, I would be running a Void subclass. So you're using Void abilities like your supers and your grenades and your melee abilities. All those things running a Void subclass during any of the strikes as well, and using those scout rifles. Final one is going to be patrols anywhere in the system. If you guys will look tomorrow, I'm going to get a video scheduled up, just a quick run through, tips on patrols, the easiest ones to do, and kind of ones that are going to help clear out an area, like kill enemies in one, take you to another area, finish that one, stand in one place, and cycle through the patrols really quickly. 9 in itself doesn't take that long. My advice is to do them on EDZ. There's a lot to go through, but look for that video tomorrow. I'm just out of town, so I can't do this very quickly, but I am trying to get some of this stuff up to you guys. My advice, though, the combat ones that look like a target, and then the one that looks like a compass, the survey, if you can find either of those tend to be my favorites. They're quickly, and they will take you to, the survey ones will take you to another location, kind of high level on the planet, so a big named one. So as soon as you get done with that one, stand around, see what patrols await you there. If they're not ones you like, jump to another section. So that's a quick run through, but I'll have a short little video tomorrow on patrols. So Merry Christmas on that one. If I can get it done, I will do it today. But that's how I would do. Run a Void subclass the whole time. And for the materials collected on EDZ or Mars, as you're running around doing those patrols, try and keep an eye out. See if you have any ghosts that are going to be resource detector or combo detector for EDZ or Mars. If you have anything like that, that will definitely help. This is probably the most annoying one without one of those ghosts. So believe me, I understand if you don't do this one, everything else should be pretty doable. Run some Cabal strikes using scouts. Keep that scout rifle going for your adventures and make them in Vex adventures, and run Void the whole time. That's going to make those bounties synergize pretty quickly. They shouldn't be too bad, but yes, if you are grinding these on 3 characters, still going to feel like a grind, no question about it. But I hope these help you on the Obelisk bounties. Off to Iron Banner, see what Saladin has for us this week. Alright, so we are here with Saladin. If you do turn in Iron Banner rewards that you still have tokens left over, you actually can't until you finish the Season 9 quest. Now, there's going to be different steps to the quest that you're going to be able to do. Opponents defeated, capturing zones, super defeats. They're going to be probably a little harder as you go through, and each one is going to unlock a piece of armor, and I think weapons, they said, but I think mostly this is how you're going to unlock the armor of the season, and it is character-based, so my bounty is going to be specifically for this character, not for others. So make sure if you're trying to get a set of armor for a certain character, that you start with that one to make sure you got enough time. Our available bounties, remember, these are pinnacle gear. They are going to be above 960, and they are going to be a +2. So if you get 4 of these things in different slots, you can actually start working that level to be a little bit higher. So pinnacles are definitely going to be a good thing to work on if you get a chance to, if you've got some time. This one, we've got defeat enemies while your team holds zone advantage, so you have to have 2 out of the 3. You've got defeat opponents with final blows from any ability, so ability final blows. This one has been tweaked a little bit. I think they said the arsenal of tricks is not as difficult. They cut the requirements in half. So just make sure you're using abilities. I mean, throwing knives, supers where you can kill multiple people. Like roaming supers are going to be a good thing here because supers you get control. Grenades that you can kind of get a nice little bonus on. If you guys are good with throwing knives, handheld supernovas, shoulder charges. I know everybody probably hates me for saying those, but everybody's got their one-hit kill. These are abilities. Use them if you're trying to knock out this bounty. Iron Banner may be toxic, but we all got to do our bounties. Nothing you can do about it. Over here, we've got Iron Confidence. Defeat opponents with final blows from any weapon. Seriously, any weapon. It says earn bonus progress from energy weapons, power weapons, and opponents with a higher level. So energy weapons are going to be your non-kinetics, and your power weapons, of course. If you get power ammo, try and get something like a grenade launcher, machine gun, where you can get multiple kills out of it. Finally, we've got defeat opponents in Iron Banner. Just straight up win. Just any opponent you defeat is going to help progress on this one. And again, these are all pinnacles, so you do not want to miss out on these. Especially work on 1 set per character. If you grind all 3 bounties on all 3 characters and then all quests this week, you may have had some time off this week. That's just how that might go. If you don't have that much time this week, this will not be the only Iron Banner. They've got some spacing in there for other Iron Banners in the future. But if you're trying to get the pinnacles as high as you can, and maybe you don't do raiding or the dungeons, this is probably your best bet to find some of that pinnacle gear drops and start getting above 960 if that character is above it. Now, one other piece of advice, if you aren't quite 960, but you know in all of this grinding you might get there this week on a character, when you finish the Iron Banner Pinnacle Bounty, make sure you don't save it when the next Iron Banner comes around, but if you haven't got to 960 yet, to get the most out of these pinnacle drops, my advice is to wait until that character is actually fully 960, and then actually turn these things in, so you get 962 drops instead of like wasting it on a 961. So keep that in mind. If you're not quite 960, maybe you just haven't been playing that much. I've been traveling a lot. Not all my characters are up there, so don't turn these pinnacles in unless you are full 960 just to get the most effect out of them. Finally, we come to the store, and we're going to look through and see if there's anything useful in here. So, one, we've got a transmat effect, the Sweet Entrance. That one is just literally like a gingerbread house and candy, so that one's fun. We've got the Winter View shell, so this is the cool one if you guys like the snow globe shell. Honestly, it looks really cool. Public events and Banshee's favorite. Perks are pretty weak on it, honestly. Not one I would really advise buying, but that is up to you guys and what you prefer. And then get that bread. This is the exotic emote that will net a piece of bread. Shout out to DMG04 or Dylan there, one of the community managers at Cosmo. He ate so much bread, I think he is deserving of this one for free. Hopefully he gets it. Other Bright Dust purchases are going to be the Cerulean Flash. This is going to be one of your ships. I do believe this was from last year's Dawning event. Still pretty cool looking. We've also got the Polar Vortex. If you are a fan of polar bears or just want one of the most ridiculous looking sparrows in the game, this thing's just awesome. So for sure, if you're digging this one, or if your name is Polar Bear out there on the internet, she's an awesome Gambit player. She's definitely got to pick that one up. We do have the Frostborn. It is an ornament for the Black Talon. Gives it an awesome frosted cold effect to it, so very, very cool here as well. Definitely one of those, if you are digging the Black Talon, which lately has been pretty cool. I've seen some people being pretty effective with it. Not a bad one to consider. If you guys listen to the last word, my advice is please do not even buy this thing, the Concentrated Matter Gem. Save your Bright Dust. There are better uses for it. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Lord Cognito will know what I'm talking about. Everything else, as you guys know, you've got your seasonal pickups and things of that nature in here, so definitely stuff to check out if you want. But you got your confectionery style, your snowy entrance. This is the ship, actually. There is some lore in here if you guys do want to read it. I'm not going to show it all to you, but if you come in and check, I think it is related to Uldren, and we're kind of waiting to figure out what is going on. We've also got an ornament for Hardlight, which just kind of looks awesome too. Both these ornaments are just sick, so if you're digging on some of those ornaments, make sure you pick them up. And the Graceful Spin is just a pretty cool emote that you can kind of do forever. There's a finisher similar to that, but somebody took some ice skating lessons, I think, and put some of that into the game. But that pretty much wraps it up for December 24th, guys. So work on updating your Obelisk. Go check out the new boss in the Sundial. You've got Iron Banner for Pinnacle Weapons, and of course, or Pinnacle Weapons, Pinnacle Drops, period. They could be weapons or armor. And of course, everything else in the game going on right now for the Dawning and your Polaris Fractaline. Lots of things to level up, lots of things to bake. And again, if you're getting tired of Gambit and you're just playing a lot of that, go play some Strikes. If you're tired of Strikes, go play some Iron Banner and some Crucible. Mix it up. Make sure you always have all the bounties on you that you can. And to all of you out there, thank you very much. Merry Christmas. Have an awesome one. Happy holidays. And just enjoy this time. If you have any time off, if you are working around this time and you're in retail, our best wishes to all of you. Hopefully you get some time off a little bit later. But thank you all for being an awesome community out there. And you guys have a great, great week, holiday and weekend. And I will be a little bit of traveling, but I'll be kind of back in a little while. So I'll get content up while I can. But thank you guys very much. I'll see you soon.